Here are 21 ways to transform your life that you won't come back from. In other words, they're changes that you will tend to stick to in the long term. We all have anchors, some good and some bad, that we build upon year. And these define who we really are. But all of these things, our attitudes, our habits, our personalities, can all be transcended and transformed. Life is about evolving consciousness, and it doesn't stop with us. In fact, that's where it starts. People have spoken about transformation for centuries, but in practice, it's no easy task. We have all tried to better ourselves at one time or another and failed. In fact, we have done so on many trial and error projects. By the time we're adults, we start giving up. We subconsciously can stop setting goals. We're tired of never reaching the finish line, so we simply stop running the longer races. The ones with the bigger payoffs start to be the ones we don't accomplish. Soon mediocrity sets in, with the accompanying desperation and feelings of emptiness that come with settling for less. But today we discuss transformation because there rarely is another way. Every now and again, we rise up like a phoenix from the ashes and make big changes. So that is what we are talking about. The big changes that define you as a soul on fire. Changes that go above and beyond your normal, your personality, and your daily character. With the right intrinsic motivation and the right maps and goals, we can do almost anything we set our minds to. These 21 ways to transform your life are a roadmap to these big changes. Transformation describes the process of change and going beyond your form and norm. And this process can rarely heal, change, and transform all areas of your life for good. Although transformation is and should be a never-ending process, much like the cosmos itself, it is a great start to the process, a start with a big bang, so to speak. So ignite your full potential. It is a journey that starts here. Number 1, reappreciate life. Shift from judgment to gratitude. Appreciate the things you may normally overlook. It's very easy for us to slip into a judgmental attitude that ends up with us feeling that what we have and do is never enough. Make a list of the things that you're grateful for. The more you appreciate the blessings in your life, the more blessings there will be to appreciate. That is good math. Start the day with 5 things you are grateful for and keep it simple. Try not to judge them. Try not to judge yourself and even God, because it is not God who is judgmental, but our own egos, which have a tendency to judge others as wrong or different or distrustful, malicious. Rather, judgment comes from our own ego, edging God out, ego. 2, put on presence. Be the presence of love, compassion, peace, forgiveness, and possibility. Become a witness and don't get lost in trains of thoughts that don't serve you. Eckhart Tolle says that presence is what happens when we are no longer waiting for the next moment, believing that the next moment will somehow be more fulfilling than this one. If people talk about a strong police presence, for example, they are referring to a way that their presence is rarely felt at the time and place where, it's situated. So when we develop a strong sense of presence for ourselves, we start to show up for ourselves and cultivate our throat chakra, which gives us our voice. It is there when we find our voice, we are really heard. And that makes a lot of difference to our lives on all fronts, in business, home life. The tall oak tree has presence, incredible presence in a forest, and everything about it stands out. Presence is not something that we can enforce. It mostly comes from an authentic place of knowing who you truly are, and then presenting that real, raw, and naked persona of yours to the world. Who you are is divine by nature, and being truly yourself will start to attract others to what you have to say, even if it takes a little more time to be heard than the louder people around you. When you are heard and seen, your presence will be felt and then remembered. Shakespeare taught us, "To thine own self be true." When you are fully immersed in presence, there is nothing to hide, nothing to keep hidden, nothing to stay in the shadows. Being yourself like that oak tree, who is 100% being that oak tree, will start to set you free from anything that hinders you, allowing you to be who you really are. So put on presence. 3. Nourish your soul. Before you do anything significant ever again, ask yourself this question: does this nourish my soul? The acronym of which is DTNMS. Does this nourish my soul? It's a simple roadmap to better consequences and a happier life. If it doesn't nourish your soul, consider not doing it. There would be little point in doing anything that won't help you develop and grow as a person who is in the world to contribute significantly to it. So be true to yourself and don't do anything that doesn't nourish your soul. 4. Become certain of what you really want. Know what you really want. Be clear about it and pursue that daily. If someone gave you 3 wishes, you may squander them on material things, cars, vacations, or money. You may rarely believe that those things will bring you happiness and a sense of peace and calm, finally being able to have what you really want. But as we know from Hollywood, having what you think you want doesn't always work out so well. Chase the wrong things, and the wrong things will chase you back. So become very certain of what you really want. You may just find that it is actually peace, bliss, self-love, and balance that you want more than anything else, more than a career, a busy or fast lifestyle. 5. Look within. Look inward as opposed to outwards. This is a habit and a mind hack. We automatically blame and have a dichotomous mind. It came from our need to judge things so harshly for our survival as children. Focus on yourself first today as you look within. If you want to change the world, you must begin with yourself. Use I statements when you catch yourself controlling, judging, and playing the victim card, a card we all pull out from time to time. Tolerance, love, and letting go of the will to win constantly is what looking within results in. So look within. That is what spiritual experience is, after all. Simply looking within. 6. Practice contemplation daily. Practice contemplation every day. Develop daily awareness by becoming truly aware of everything around you. Things that you may not have seen, noticed, or thought deeply about for a while. So contemplation simply is the art of thinking properly and without distortions about reality. As adults, we may find that we don't really notice the clouds, the animals, and the wonder of people anymore. Noticing really is a gift. We get used to the wonder of food, water, rainbows, and seasons, and even the kind things people do for us. We start taking it all for granted. All you need to do for morning pages is wake up and write 3 pages without trying to think, trying not to overthink about what you're putting on paper. Morning pages can be done as soon as you wake up. Grab a coffee, then simply write 3 pages every day for a few weeks at a time. No one should ever see these pages except you. The bedrock tool of a creative self-transformation project is a daily practice of creating these morning pages, which are written in longhand as a stream of consciousness. They are what Freud liked to call an exercise in free association. So you write about things that you are thinking about, things that are flowing through your mind onto the paper. There is no wrong or right way to do morning pages, and seldom as I ever heard of anyone who did not have a profound personal breakthrough after a few days of writing morning pages. Try it for a few weeks and see transformation take place. 8. Cultivate purpose. Find meaning and purpose. We will show you how to do that right now. You see, the world is misinformed that we must seek out a purpose somehow hidden away from us. No. Our purpose is all the same. Our purpose, your purpose, is central to everything else. We are all here to contribute and make the world a better place. We are all here to grow. Your job on earth is no less important than a queen's, a priest's, a teacher, or an astronaut's role in life. This is not a human-centric universe. We are a small part of a much larger possibility, a much larger infinite whole. You're part of it, so don't get lost trying to find your purpose and your meaning in life. Recognize that we are all the same, and our purposes are all the same. We are all meant to be a light in a dark world. Hopeful in hopeless times, wise when answers are needed, and loving when hate manifests itself. You need never be lost again from this day on. Love is the meaning of life. Your purpose is the very same as every Muslim, Christian, Jew, believer, or non-believer. Your job, why you transform, is to become more conscious and awaken yourself. So in turn, you can awaken others who may be sleeping. And never doubt the importance of your life purpose. It's a divine mandate from a loving and all-inclusive universe, nothing's excluded, that has chosen you to be the light that the darkness has not yet understood. 9. Face the fear. Do something that scares you. FEAR. Fear avoidance brings 10,000 times more suffering. Face your fears. Fears are only what you present as imagery in your mind. So we are suffering imaginary ghosts in our imaginations that will almost always never come into existence. A Course in Miracles states that fear creates a state that does not exist, and that it is perfect love that casts out fear. Start transformation with self-love. It is for this reason that the acronym FEAR for fear I love most as false evidence appearing real. Remember that you are here to experience life and definitely not to avoid it. People who tend to want to experience life rather than avoid it have far, far greater rewards than those who are fearful. Remember that fear is a product of a hallucinatory mind. When you root yourself in reality, you will be able to sense that love that A Course in Miracles talks about, that decimates fear. So next time you're afraid, affirm to yourself that perfect love casts out fear, but only every time. 10. Drop resentment. Let go of resentment, which is known in Alcoholics Anonymous as the number one reason people relapse. Learn to forgive, let go, and let God. People get high on resentment. It gives them a great sense of relief when they act out, are angry, when they blame and persecute other people. Drop resentment. Allow transformation. Without resentment, there's nothing standing in your way. 11. The great chain of being. Develop your behavior chain. So all behavior, everything that we do, is a trigger, then a thought, then a feeling, then a behavior, and then a consequence of that behavior. As humans, we have a behavior chain that starts simply with the experiences of our 5 senses. We don't have 6 senses, only 5. So all our experiences start with our 5 senses. We don't experience anything more than that. What you can do to transform your life is add a second thought after every encounter with people, places, things, conversations, and situations. That second thought that you can add can really change your consequences for the better in a very short space of time. Pause for 5 seconds before you react to any personal situation. Pausing will give you an opportunity to choose a loving and empowering response instead of reacting on autopilot. Feel your feelings. They alert you to what is going on in your mind, and they can guide you towards that purpose and meaning we spoke about, and the passions that you will develop in your life as you transform. People often start the chain with God. I don't believe in God, I do believe in God, but don't start the great chain of being with God. Come on, we're not that smart. Rather start with a rock. Start looking at, contemplating and rediscovering a stone. Go and see what that stone is made of. Feel its weight. Where did it come from? How did it get its shape? Once you're able to contemplate a stone, then go and look at a flower. You don't need to pick it. See what gives it life, why it has color, how it came to be. Once you've contemplated a flower, go and look at an animal. There are so many in our great chain of being. Once you've looked at an animal, then go and re-look at a child, and so on. Rediscover the great chain of being. Transform from a state of reality, and reality is always kind. 12. Develop connection. Connection with source, self, and others is vital. Spend time in nature. Stop to contemplate the birds flying or the people playing with their dogs in the park. Sharing is connection. Why not try and leave a kind note or $1 for someone if you have one spare? Love and be loved. Practice listening and connecting every day. Practice, you are just like that. It is a practice that you can use when you see other people who are irritated, perhaps in a rush, or don't stop to wave. When others irritate you with their remarks, even their erratic driving or insensitivity at times, remember how you yourself are just like that sometimes. It really helps us to connect. We are highly emotional beings, and everyone is on a unique level of transformation. So always do what you do to be the transformation itself. Go above and beyond the form or the situation. That's what transformation really is about. Develop the 3 A's. Practicing the 3 A's is a simple thing that you can do to cultivate awareness. Awareness, acceptance, and new action are the 3 A's. First, develop your awareness. Then, accept things that fall outside of your control, like the weather, a long line at the grocery store, or others' opinions. Save your energy for more important things from now on. Acceptance then is the answer. Don't get too easily frustrated that things have not changed yet or that they have gone your way. Taking action only comes after the process of awareness and acceptance. Taking action without consideration seldom gets us into a good space. So taking action comes after awareness of what is happening for you, and then acceptance of what is happening. No matter what happens, you will always be okay. The proof of this is you, right here today, right now. Life surely has not been perfect for anyone, and it is oftentimes laced in traumas, pains, and hurts that we actually have survived. We've got to remember that. Most of us have imagined far more pain than we have experienced, and a wild imagination brings paralyzing fear with it. Become aware of your problems, learn to accept them, and form a space where you can take positive action after becoming more aware and accepting what is happening. 14. Minimalism. Practice minimalism as a form of balance in your life. Empty your plate if your life is unmanageable, full, chaotic, and busy. Learn to rather let go of your need to control and amass things that you may or may not need right now. Be a river rather than a dam. Minimalism is all about lightening your load. I turn things over to God, and I ask for help with all the decisions that I make. Knock, ask, and then receive and walk through. This is the natural way of things. We need to learn to not glorify busyness, stress, full calendars, and endless hours at a desk. No. You are more likely to end up miserable than happy when you indulge in the excess of work. Work, after all, is a 24-hour day job that needs minimizing where minimizing is due. Sleep, play, connection, relationships, reading, appreciating sunsets, understanding that you need to be open, calm, and contemplative is also work of your mind, not just the work at the desk. It is more important work than most other work. If you cannot and do not do these things, you may have lost your way in the easier part of life. Yes, being a bank manager, entrepreneur, hotel owner, accountant for that matter, is far easier than the other work you need to do of calming your mind and regulating your emotions. Learn how to manage yourself. Learn how to take accountability, not just of your checkbooks, rather of yourself. 15. Intention. Set a daily intention. Every day as you wake up, set an intention and stay focused on your intentions each and every day. Write them down. Remember, who am I? Where have I been? And where am I going? Intentions are far better to focus on when it comes to transforming your life than even goals. Intentions are what you think about all day long. You may have an intention to transform your life. When someone cuts you off in the traffic, you might rather decide if transformation is important to you, and you are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Your intention might be to keep your peace and not revert to old behaviors that don't work for you. Use the power of intention every day. 16. Silence. Experience silence and listen to Source whenever you can. It's all happening within you. That's where you're hearing my voice after all. Peace, quiet, and solitude, rather than obsessive thinking and compulsions, are a much, much better way of life. All you need to do is just go within. It's that simple. Spend 20 minutes a day in contemplation and silence. We can become addicted to external validation rather than internal validation. And we're always seeking things on the outside to make us happy, make us feel purposeful. No, the real answers are kept in silence. Silence is God's language. 17. Always stay on. Stay switched on. That's the easiest way to transform. Don't ever allow other people, places, or things to shut you off. If people gossip or are unkind about you, or if you feel that people are judging you, don't allow it to close you off or set you off. If you close off every time someone offends you, you will be on and off like a light switch. Rather than being sometimes closed off and then struggle trying to get into an open and connected space again and again, it can really be a permanent struggle. So instead, if things don't seem to be going your way, know that there are no accidents in God's world. Stay open regardless of what is happening around you. Stay open to the possibilities that things are happening for you and not to you. Realize that big and small things alike tend to work themselves out for your good in the end. The universe is a gentle, loving, and kind place that never misses a beat. If it did, and the moon, sun, or earth moved just a degree or two, or sped up or slowed down even just a little, it would all spin wildly out of control and be gone in seconds. That's what can happen to your peace too. Everything, including you, is being taken care of. It is being done. You don't need to do anything. Your heart beats while you sleep, and food turns into energy and proteins without your help. Stay switched on. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to keep transforming and not going backwards. Stay switched on. See how deeply your life will begin to transform from day one. 18. I am, these am I. When we have an am I philosophy, we are bathed in a sense of uncertainty, which can breed a lot of fear. You are not your name or even your personality or the masks that you wear. So the question of, am I this or am I that, constantly going on in your head, am I going to go there? Is it going to work out? Am I going to do this correctly? Can really fill us with doubt and uncertainty. So go beyond, transform this limited thinking, and transcend the doubt by switching things around. Am I to I am. So change am I statements simply to I am statements that you can practice every day. I am loved. I am on purpose. I am okay and connected and growing, rather than wondering if you are. Make the statement to that effect. That again is a good power of intention. When God was asked what his name was, he replied, I am, with a profound sense of omnipotent certainty, without the doubt of what or what is not included. So be mindful of the words that you use, and be mindful of what you put after I am, because although they're very small, powerful words, whatever you put after them will become your reality. I am is also a very powerful way to make statements that you are ready to transform your life. 19. Become a mystic. From today, embrace the unknown. Become a mystic. Why not? Needing to know is dis-ease. We might as well face the inevitable truth that as humans, we know almost nothing about the universe, the ocean, or even our own bodies for that matter. No one still knows or agrees what is inside or even inside one of the 1 trillion cells in our bodies. Get comfortable with the idea that we will always have far, far more questions ahead of us than answers. Einstein, after all, said, it is in questioning that we find the answers. So the mind loves answers and despises it when we can't find one, instantly for that matter, to the point where the mind can create a state of fight, flight, and freeze if it feels threatened by what can or could not happen at any given moment. Rather embrace the mystery of life by choice. Become a mystic and become comfortable with not knowing, and let go of your mind's attachment to the need to know. By accepting what comes to us as if we chose it, as if we knew on purpose, will change the very way we live our lives, the way we love. So the real mystery of life is that we are divine beings. I'm going to tell you now, infinitely loved. And that love is our true nature, our core values. So just like the nature of good that is in everything else, we are connected to it through some kind of great mystery. So becoming a mystic really isn't a choice. We're doing it anyway. Embracing it on purpose will help you transform your life. 20. Be you. Thinking is not living. Our thinking is oftentimes so distorted, our very own thinking can become the enemy within. So love you, forgive you. We are created from a spirit of pure love, and that is how we can operate on a daily basis. Make your own authentic nature a non-compromising part of yourself. Let go of the masks and the personality traits that no longer serve you. It's time. Today. So we were created from a spirit of love. And that love is how we can operate on a daily basis. Love is kind, gentle, patient, and so on. So make your own authentic nature a non-compromising part of yourself. Let go of the masks. Notice your tendencies to people please or blame or judge. Let them in. It's about being human. Okay? Our control and our codependence are things that we all have, and we can start to let those go as we become more and more authentic towards ourselves. Authenticity is really uncompromising when it comes to transformation. We will always be in pain if we are not growing, if we are not contributing, if we are not evolving. So we will always be in pain or suffering when we avoid how we truly feel. So don't die with your music still in you. Don't allow others or their expectations of you to change who you really are. From today, become more and more who you really are. And 21, embrace impermanence and liminal spaces. I will end off on a very, very important one. It just gets rid of a ton of depression and anxiety and stress that we don't need. Remember that everything in life is a process. There is a time and a season for everything. When difficult times come, it can be hard to remember that this too shall pass kind of philosophy is what we need to embrace. Problems are not permanent. Everything is changing. Everything is subject to impermanence, and nothing stays the same. Everything is miraculously evolving into something better and something more, and that includes you. So this transitional time and space we can refer to as liminal space, and it is kind, just like reality is always kind. Impermanence and liminal spaces are kind. So this liminal space is the time you spend in transition as you head towards your next destination and your next level of understanding. So don't be afraid of these transitions. Impermanence means we are always guaranteed of new adventures, new itself. We are guaranteed of understanding and developments unfolding, as life lovingly allows us to become more and more conscious. So learn to make a habit of embracing impermanence and liminal spaces rather than being afraid of them. Embrace them with love rather than fear. So Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." Remember that as you go above your form, as you transform. Each of these 21 ways to transform your life costs us nothing. and brings us closer each and every day they are practiced to becoming more authentic, more capable, more response-able as a human being who is having a spiritual experience in life, more so than a human one. Learning to trust the process of life is something we will have to open up to as adults. We cannot rely on what served us in the past as children, so transformation is necessary. Much like an eagle has to kick her chicks out of the nest, so it is with us. We must grow, transform, evolve, and become more authentic. So we all suffer through dark nights of the soul, which can leave us disillusioned to the point where our lives become an illusion themselves. Authenticity is much like reality. Both are light and kind and show us the way to experiencing heaven on earth. So choosing our attitude is the only way that humans are different from all other creatures on earth. So as you learn to live a life that is grounded on a journey, spiraling upward in transformation, remembering that you're going above your form and becoming more and more spiritual or conscious, remember the words of Viktor Frankl. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms: to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's way. So be the change and be as, authentically yourself as you can in those liminal spaces, knowing that you can transform your life easily, a little more, every day, with practice. Namaste, and may God bless you.